What's up, my nerds? So you poured your blood, sweat, and tears into a first draft. I am here to tell you that it is perfectly okay to take a break after that series of madness that is a first draft. You could read a book, you could watch some TV, you could actually go outside. Most writers actually prefer a little bit of distance from their manuscripts before they dive in to do any kind of editing. Since I am not done writing my first draft yet, and that stint of winter term hysteria that I had to go through is finally over, I'm giving myself just a few more days to think about nothing writing related before I dive back in. One tip that I can give you when you do eventually dive back in after taking that break is that you should do your second draft in a different format that you did your first draft. My first draft is written in a combination of the Scrivener app and Google Docs. Once my first draft is complete, I go old-fashioned. Pen and paper. Hence the plethora of composition notebooks that are floating around my house. I put my trusty pen to paper and I take everything from the Scrivener app and Google Docs and I literally write out the entire manuscript, changing things as I go. Of course, this is the cause of some serious hand crampage, but it's also the cause of some of my favorite lines that I have ever written. Writing it out by hand lets my brain relax, and it helps me think about my story on a slower level. I allow myself to soak up everything before I write it, and this is usually a time where I spruce up the prose or the dialogue, and I smooth out any awkward sentences, making it slightly more enjoyable to read, so that when I eventually get into my third draft, I am just looking at plot and world building and character development. Writing in different formats throughout your process allows your brain to think about your story on a greater level, on the publishing level. Every draft you do is one step closer to publication. It forces you to think about your book in a different way, in a final result kind of way. And the chances are very, very impossibly high that regardless of the route that you decide to take when you go for publication, you're gonna have to edit your manuscript like a billion times. And again, that first draft, that's the blood, sweat, and the tears. That is the hardest part of the entire process for me. But you have to push through that and put the words on the page because you can't edit and you can't work and you can't publish something that isn't written. Get that first draft done, take a much needed and well-deserved break, read a book or two, and then get back to work telling your story.